Hello and welcome. You are listening to the last episode of Disney Travel Tales. Welcome to Disney Travel Tales. I am your host, Jenny, and I am very thankful you are here today. This podcast is designed to help you plan the most magical Disney vacation, whether it be visiting Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or a Disney cruise. You will hear trip reports, news, and I will do my best to help keep you up to date on all things happening in the parks. Not traveling to Disney anytime soon? Then we're still the podcast for you. Sit back, relax, and immerse yourself in all things Disney. If you're ready to plan a trip, I would love to help you. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com and let's get the conversation started. Don't forget to follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at Disney Travel Tales. And with that, let's get to today's show. So I know this is probably going to come as kind of a surprise to my long-term listeners. But yes, this is going to be the last episode of Disney Travel Tales as of right now, and I would probably say for the foreseeable future. So a little bit of the reason why, over this summer, I think it was around the time, so it was like the end of May, around the time my oldest son graduated from high school. I really kind of sat down and was trying to figure out things that were important in my life and things that I really wanted to prioritize over other things. It's just really strange when you have a child graduate from high school and go off and move to college. It strangely puts your life in a different kind of perspective. And I just came to a realization that as much as I love the podcast, it's just not something that I can prioritize anymore. So my other son, Asher, is a senior in high school right now, and he's a baseball player. His baseball season is about to start in January and really ramp up and take up a ton of time. And I just want to make sure I'm there for every second. He's also going to go play baseball in college. And he's already, committed to the school, so he's going to be fairly close. And I want to be able to go to all of his games because he will be, fairly close by. My daughter's also ramping up in her dance career, and she's competitively dancing now. And then, of course, my oldest is off at college. However, he comes home all the time, so we do get to see him. And the podcast just has gone on the back burner. I mean, I've literally had, the episode that came out a couple of weeks ago, I had ready to go for 2 weeks. All I had to do was upload it, and I still didn't do that. So that's just kind of where I'm at. My life is really, really busy right now, and unfortunately, I just don't have time for the podcast anymore. What a lot of people don't realize, and I actually didn't even know until I started the podcast, is it is so much work to produce a podcast. Finding the guest, scheduling the guest, interviewing the guest, and then editing that interview. So if you have a 2-hour interview, you have to listen to it back for 2 hours and edit it, putting it together, and then uploading it. While I absolutely love doing all of that, my favorite part, of course, is connecting with you and interviewing my guest and putting the podcast out there for all of y'all to listen to. I cannot prioritize that anymore. And so instead of just doing a not great job at the podcast, I just have to let it go, which is really sad, but it's just the way it has to be right now. The good news is I will very much be immersed in the Disney world. I am going to focus more on being a travel agent and booking trips for you, getting new clients, because if I'm being completely honest, that's what brings in the money, whereas the podcast does not. I've also taken a position at the agency I work with to work on their social media. So I'm just going to put my time that I do have into other things, which I'm really excited about because it's going to make me a better travel agent in the long run. I am really sad to let this go. I will say over the summer, I was like, I'm not going to come back for the fall. But then I talk to people and they're like, I just love your show so much. It brings me so much joy. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to do it in the fall. And then I thought, I'm not going to come back for the winter. And then again, I love the podcast. So I just kept coming back because hearing your positive feedback meant the world to me. I actually even had guests, up and ready to go through January, but I just can't prioritize that again. So that's why I had to contact them and just tell them that, thank you for wanting to be on the show, but I'm not going to be recording anymore. I just want to say a huge thank you to you, the listener. I've literally been doing this because of you. I love Disney and I love listening to Trip Tales. And when I first started this podcast, I really had no idea if anyone was going to listen to it. So connecting with you, all of my guests pretty much have come from being listeners, minus a few. And that just really means a lot to me. I can't tell you how much if you had left a positive review when I read it, just how much it meant to me. People would email me and tell me how much they enjoyed the show. And I just loved that. I loved the connection aspect of it. I loved giving you the information that you needed to help make your trips great. A few of you have booked trips with me, so I've actually got to work with you, and I can't tell you how much that means to me to allow me to help you plan these magical vacations for your family. That is what I truly, truly love, and that's why I'm going to continue to do that. These past 3 years of doing the podcast have just been so great. I've loved every moment of it. It's just been kind of like a dream come true that I've got to do this because I love listening to podcasts, and actually having my own podcast has just been such a dream. And I just want to thank you. It really, for listening, for downloading, for connecting with me. It just means the world to me. I hope you still stay in touch with me. My Instagram is going to kind of die away. The page will still be there, but I will no longer be updating it or posting. That's something else that when I sat down and really had to make my priority list, that one had to go as well. It's just too much work. I can't do it anymore. But I am going to become more active on my Facebook page. So just make sure you're following me there to stay in touch. Of course, if you ever want to travel to Disney, I would love to help you. You can email me at Jenny@TrolleyLaneTravel, or again, just go over to Facebook, look for Disney Travel Tales, and you will see my business page pop up. I plan to be, again, much more active there, posting all the deals on travel and just fun things like that, fun information to help you plan your trips. I will still be doing that. I still want to help make sure you have a great trip. I just can't do it in the podcast form anymore. So again, this is the last episode. Thank you so much for listening. It's been such a great journey. And as I end every show, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.